Fikile kweli shumi fighter titifu magamnande ama fighter fikile kweli shumi.
Greetings everyone and welcome to the EFF Manifesto Mondays, where we dissect and unpack the EFF Manifesto in simple layman terms so that everyone can understand what was said. Today we have the big man himself, the chairperson of the EFF in the Free State Province.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Coach Liphoko. Provincial chairperson at EFF in the Free State. I'm also a member of provincial legislature who happens to be a leader of caucus in that provincial legislature of the EFF.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, the CMSR manifesto.
Today we're here to give them the reason in a way that they can internalize as to what strategic direction does the EFF have for the country. So can you please assist us in that regard?
Thank you very much for inviting us, and so we dissect it slow. Resa data, resa jahela anyway. So today, decided to just land in human settlement. The two how di separate. Le budul. So I'll quickly take you back hanyane to the character ya EFF. Kapasimilo sa EFF yole ka mokgatlo wa ntwa tukolo ya moruo. EFF ke mokga o anti-capital. Basically, hodima di gospels, the ideology, tsa Karl Marx, Vladimir Lenin, and Franz Fanon. And it's anti-capital because we hate capital. Capital in its own self, its character to maximize a profit. When you die, they maximize profit by selling you a piece of land where we're going to bury you. Everything, even a sweetie, when you go buy it at the tuck shop, maximize a profit. So EFF has to maximize some profit, but we also are a socialist movement. Socialism would just mean a transitional stage or a form of economy where we are transitioning from a capital perhaps towards communism, but now we understand fully communism. So as such, this time Hunter manage the contradictions of society and dealing with economic problems, a socialist movement. This is a movement the downtrodden, the oppressed, and the workers or working class. So as such, this character EFF ideology I think hari implement some of these policies kapadi draft too. So EFF, because its name economic freedom fighters, so ki balwane di bantu atukulo ya muruo, but one would ask, how are you going to do it? And EFF it's ideology yena ya di gospel tsena za bontate ba bararo ileng Karl Marx le Lenin le Fanon re tlo fitlela mogao lokolo economically kapa muruong ka 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars. So the first cardinal pillar which is what I'm going to hammer on election manifesto, and these are stuff so the founding manifesto of the EFF. Uncle Tom's 2013 to 26 July we adopted this manifesto, presented it, built it, and then the first National People's Assembly. But the fourth cardinal pillar, if I would fast forward issues, cardinal pillar quality education, quality housing, but equally le healthcare. Now, hara you, I'm going to both combine quality housing, which is human settlement issues that I'm going to be talking about kajeno, plus land. Kanila pillar number 1, which will be the expropriation of land without compensation for the purposes of redistribution and use. So meaning when we redistribute land, re or anyone remove on has puso ya rona elong to be a socialist government, it will not behave as this ANC kamukho behave ngate. So a socialist government will do these things in cardinal pillars and manifesto. How no president the commander in chief Liphoko Moses Mabida unonali theme yoting land and jobs now. Stop load shedding. So we'll speak about the rest, but right now, sanzane re gemiseditso buaka lefatse, le human settlement kapa lefatse for purposes tsa budulo, or however way you would want to, it would make sense to you. So, lefatse lena le history e batlang deep in South Africa. I think we all know that. It's the only thing that we know elang ya patalo ka madi. I don't think whites bana le lefatse because balinkile. Forcefully would mean they use barrel of the gun. People died, and black people mainly bashuile for this land, which ordinarily was occupied by them, and then whites came. Batla mona bafitla banka lefatse. And lefatse, we're not only speaking of land, broadly we're speaking about land and minerals, we're speaking about land, water, anything that can be produced by land and from the land. So, these commodities or these resources it would mean that for example, let's just take the minerals gold. When you return the land, whoever is owning, if Harmony Gold Mine or Sibanye Gold or whatever that you may think of, is owning a land for purposes or miner, or it means or owning a land for purposes who harvest metimo, it means rematate. So when we take over, we can use land for everything. We can use land for purposes of economy, who build a firm, for human settlement, for anything, building schools, and these are part of stuff that I'm going to speak about today. So most people who work at expropriation, especially white people, get developed by the goosebumps. They know the must be shared. It's a commodity that I think all of us must share. It's a natural resource. However way you look at it, it gives identity to all of us. Now, the crisis in Yahor, 1% currently in South Africa, because banale chelete, they might control everything, every inch of South Africa. Even foreigners are allowed, using the current constitution, to come buy land however much they want, and some are even hoarding it. Baduti mo somewhere in Europe, and the land which is meant for agricultural purposes is not being used because a hoarder decided to come by Abatwa, and our people are now landless for purposes of human settlement. So, as the EFF, we are planning to conduct the audit bill. Arken fellow conductor auditor, really push. La puso, la private. And le private, for purposes of human settlement, some people, we can identify the land, so we'll involve the town and city planners, so it must not be a place, it's not habitable, so, we can build a city here, and we want to bring back to closer to cities. If we're unable to bring back to closer to cities, rather, let's let's work with this town planner such that wherever mo go be amba today ke mo go tlo khona go build dikolo mo tlo etsa di shopping complexes, and it's a place where we born with this etseditswe batho sing lately what the ANC has been doing ba sale ba formalize the informal settlements ha ba qeta ba ditloela di le jwalo. There's no further development, and people as such are put far away from where they work. O tlame o palame 2 at times even 3 times o palama o ya msebetsi, and a go di fela ha ona nix e o leng gore white hall. And this land audit will also give us a sense ya hore urban land ke efe. And Leona Ebenlindi would like to work on it such that and I know most people are worried how EFF work expropriation of land, but worried we are going to take their stands, their sites, their residential sites, under administration of EFF government, and that's not the case. We want to give people sites, residential sites. And that's why we're even saying prepared really EFF human settlement prepared banka you also partake 50% of your property. That bank must not be allowed, must legislate or impossible because that property virtually is yours. Also partake 50%, and EFF government must just meet you halfway. So there will be categories fully dependent on the state. Your indigents, babata EFF government, they highland, identify a site by island, then but these are houses that must be a human dignity. A 3-roomed house, at least that's we are taking it to majority of us. Well, not majority, are actually in majority when you look at demographics. Black people would tell you itlaba kamrea ya batho ba baholo, parents, itlaba kamrea bana, maybe even visitors. However, you are an ordinary nuclear family where you have 2 kids. In the meantime, but I share one room. But there's an emphasis. A quality house to us would mean that it's a 3-bedroomed house. In a toilet kahari, such that you don't how the kilometers or the kilometer monologa moilong horokai oga day. So we're very certain that even for human settlement, if there's a need for us to expropriate land, let's say for example a sewer plant. That sewer plant, and there is that wild man outering a 10-hectare plot for a greater good, for the purposes here, public good. So we must have that understanding that purposes are greater and public good must supersede the individual needs. So that one individual does not, like I said earlier on, does not own about 12 farms. At times hardly 70s. And as EFF, we can't give you land for residential purposes and you go use it for something else. We're not about to build a mall, about to build some block of flats. It's a profit. We will not allow that. Well, however, identify sites as EFF, will say students must reside here. It's a project they are on as EFF government or so as and when they study, we have identified piece of land where we'll use construction company or EFF government to build that block of flats for students only. And it's not meant with a profit. It's meant that there may be decency and quality education. We can build even for, but one now I have a piece of land from the bank. All I'm interested in Kikopa just that part we can do, but equally we can also assist yena ha batle buildelwa ntlo, because these will be standard houses that a 3-bedroomed, they will be standard. So we can identify land or land sites for people like Patlelang, Lefatsi, just in JB, but we build that part we can do. It will put a relief go government day. But I suspect that most people, the Nkuzina will be of such high quality that most people will want them. And there will be those people that overturn the double story, will give you land so you build on for yourself. However, we will not expropriate land unreasonably. Where Retla fellow no who want to take land, taking your own property, who's any greater good. There must be a greater good, and EFF will have a section called High Court where we'll only deal with the issues that the the conflict when it comes to land, and the some adjudication of some sort, such that land must not be a problem. And maybe there will be a block of flat. We'll ask you to complete a contract, a lease agreement of some sort, so that at least there's a sense here. You do not own. We don't want people to own land and later on by hoarder. People even own land when they are dead. You can't even take it to we see there's some will that it be taken by Banaba Highwell. An example now that comes to mind is somewhere in Mangaung and in closer to Kuotiniman. We've got our people who have expropriated land, who have occupied the land there for Babata Udul. And government they are the owner more. They want to buy from the owner, but unfortunately, like you know, it's like a willing buyer, willing sell. So they want to buy from the owner. The owner is missing. They don't know where the owner is. We assume we vacationing, but it's now a resident there somewhere overseas. So that thing will not happen in EFF government. We'll take that land, we'll allocate our people's sites, and then and we'll also allocate land for certain things still where they give sense to human settlement. Will take land and rebuild a school, such that people who are living in a certain vicinity don't travel or in a certain location. By the time they come back from school, they're very tired, they can't even study. So we'll make it possible that there are such things. Only hostels for Bana, and they need land. Only school for Bana, they need land. Shopping complexes for what in a specific neighborhood. Such things need land. And most importantly, all are the professionals that would not really like the standard houses that we'll be giving to our people using this construction company. So broadly, I don't want to take much of the time. I think some of the issues, I wanted to highlight one or two issues that I think, and when you look at this manifesto, it speaks to the social nature or the socialist nature of our movement, EFF. Instead of people coming more about unnecessarily, if it's a lease agreement, rent to buy, so EFF, wherever it goes, it keeps this posture. A socialist government and a socialist movement. So briefly, I think I've touched on the history of and what is more important, but the Constitution is going to stop us from achieve issue talent expropriation. That's very easy. The EFF government will just deal with the issue of Constitution, especially Section 25 of the Constitution. The properties. we are a reasonable government, but whatever that we'll be doing, we'll not be doing it for ourselves, we'll be doing it for batho ba bo rona hore ba une molemo lefatsheng le leng hore ba lefuwe instead ya hore re thole lefatshe le leng hore le control mainly ke di foreigners. Most importantly, I think I must emphasize that as a last point before I step down. The foreigners who are owning land, they must just know that we're going to make it. As much as we stop criminalization, is government it's criminal. Like people went to the Occupy the Fatsi closer to Lorry Park. They were criminalized. But properties are to Rona will stop criminalizing needy alphas, but at the same time, it's a Malawan all to stop a European has a right now to come buy alphas. As long as you have money, you can buy. And that on its own will be stopped by the EFF government. So South Africans will own land in Yabo, not European owning South Africa. That will not be allowed in the EFF government. I think I'll stop this far and perhaps allow space for any clarity-seeking question.
No, thank you so much, You've given a very comprehensive balance between the use of land for human settlement and also for economic purposes. However, I'll take it to the floor.